Hi, I'm Dwayne Brown. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, a scuffle between the Border Patrol and deported migrants, and the latest on the drive to stop the Barrio Logan community plan. And there's a new legal challenge tonight to plans to expand the downtown convention center in San Diego. And we'll look at an annual tradition for the San Diego Chargers. Their blood drive is underway with a big goal.
For the first time, county jail inmates join fire camps, how they're doing, and the program's impact on overcrowding and fire prevention. I'm Peggy Pico. Also ahead, a discovery by a local scientist could one day change how the flu is treated.
Today, San Diego celebrates the life of one remarkable woman. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us. An attempt to rush the border near San Ysidro ended with a scuffle between deported migrants and the Border Patrol. Now, some of the migrants say there were supposed to be rushes at two other spots. The Border Patrol took this photo of the San Ysidro group on Sunday. Officials say several agents were hit by rocks and a water bottle. The deportees say the agents met them with tear gas and rubber bullets. They also say the man who organized the group planned two other rushes at Otay Mesa and Playa de Tijuana, but the Border Patrol says it doesn't know of any other large groups trying to cross. A San Diego-born teenager turned drug cartel hitman in Mexico is being returned to the U.S. Edgar Jimenez Lugo was named El Ponchis because of his weight. He was released from a juvenile detention facility in Mexico after serving 3 years for homicide, kidnapping, and drugs, as well as weapon charges. 3 years is the maximum allowed by Mexican law. He was sent to San Antonio, Texas, where he and his family will go to a residential support facility. The decision on whether to hold a citywide vote on the hotly contested Barrio Logan community plan is now in the hands of a judge. He will rule early next week whether the referendum will proceed. KPBS Metro reporter Sandia Dirks has been following this story. She joins us from the News Center. Sandia, bring us up to speed on what's happening with the rezoning effort.
Well, here's the shorthand. Community groups say the Barrio Logan plan passed by the San Diego City Council would protect residents from living next to industrial waste. But maritime industry leaders say the new zoning, which would require new ship supply businesses to get a permit before setting up shop, they say that would end up killing jobs. So they started a signature gathering campaign trying to overturn the plan in a citywide vote.
And, of course, they got enough signatures to get it on the ballot, right?
They did, but there's a problem. There were a lot of incidents of signature collectors misinforming voters about the plan, and it turns out that's illegal. So community activists, led by the Environmental Health Coalition, are seeking a temporary restraining order. Now, Superior Court Judge Jeffrey Barton has the final say. If he finds there was a systematic campaign to lie to voters, he can issue a temporary restraining order and he can keep the referendum from ever reaching the ballot.
And what happens if the judge finds the signatures were gathered legally?
Well, then the referendum goes forward. But of course, it's not that simple. The city clerk will present the successful petition to the city council. At that point, city council has a choice. They can either say, yes, let's put it on the ballot, which would be expensive. Anytime you bring something to a vote, it costs the city millions. Or they can overturn the whole plan and literally go back to the drawing board. Now, they've been working on this plan for 5 years, and the planning process cost around $3 million. But first, the judge needs to rule. So look to early next week to know the outcome.
And we will do just that. KPBS Metro reporter Sandia Dirks. No bail tonight. There's a new legal challenge to keep the planned expansion of the convention center in downtown San Diego. A lawsuit claims the State Coastal Commission broke the law when it approved the plan, you may recall, last month. It would add more than 700,000 square feet to the building and includes a rooftop park. Opponents say it would block views and access to the bay. The suit was filed by the Navy Broadway Complex Coalition. It says the project doesn't comply with the State Coastal Act. No bail tonight for a Malaysian defense contractor at the center of a Navy bribery case. Leonard Francis is accused of bribing Navy officials to send work to his business. Prosecutors say the company overcharged for port services in Asia. 3 naval officers have also been charged. No trip to the Philippines for the San Diego-based hospital ship Mercy. The ship was activated earlier this month for a possible deployment to help with typhoon relief. But UT San Diego reports the Mercy's now been deactivated. And the city of Escondido in the North County is a step closer to electing council members by district. The Independent Districting Commission has approved a preliminary map. KPBS reporter Mona Lisa Noor has the story.
Escondido residents got a close look at district maps that may soon reshape city council elections. The hope is that district elections will promote better representation of Escondido's Latino community. About half of residents are Latino, yet only one Latino serves on Escondido's city council.
Seems like nobody understands the Latino population here in Escondido.
For Patricia Serrano, the switch to district elections would ease escalating tensions.
People don't even report crimes because they are afraid of the police. We have to find the way to have a good relationship with the police here in Escondido and with the council members.
Each district represents roughly 35,000 residents. District 1, shaded purple on this preliminary map, is considered the majority Latino district, with just over 50% of residents falling in the Latino voting category. Former council candidate Don Green says it's much easier to run in a smaller district than in the city at large.
In the districts, a smaller subsection of the population you need to reach, and therefore you can do it with less money, and you have more time to do it, you can have a bigger impact.
The proposed districts are a result of a 2011 voting rights lawsuit that claimed at-large elections diluted Latino political engagement. On Sunday night, the Independent Districting Commission approved the preliminary map. Now the map heads to City Council next week for approval. The districts will go into effect for the November 2014 City Council elections. Mona Lisa Noor, KPBS News.
Senator Barbara Boxer says the Nuclear Regulatory Commission needs to reverse a new policy because it interferes with congressional oversight. In a letter to the NRC, she says the policy can be used to withhold information from Congress. Last week, Boxer said some documents she requested about the San Onofre investigation may have been removed from what she was given. A San Diego scientist's discovery about how the flu is spread could change the way it's treated. Peggy Pico has more on the story.
Existing anti-flu drugs like Tamiflu and Influenza are said to work by preventing the virus from spreading inside the human body. But new research by my guest, UC San Diego scientist Miriam Cohen, suggests there may be a better way to treat the flu. Dr. Cohen, welcome.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
So, Dr. Cohen, in layman's terms, how does the current flu vaccine work?
So the vaccine works basically by introducing our immune cells with a picture of the enemy. So in case that you get exposed to the flu, your immune cells knows right away to attack it and destroy it before you get sick.
Attack this foreign cell. Well, how would the therapy be, which hasn't been invented yet, based on your therapy, how would that be different from that process?
So what we were looking into is our natural mucus, or our natural body, defends us against the flu. So our airways are covered with mucus layer that present decoy molecules, sugar molecules for the flu virus to bind to. And we want to see how we can enhance that in order to prevent us from getting sick.
So basically, you're looking at a physical barrier, mucus as a physical barrier to stop the virus, but it doesn't happen that way right now, right?
So basically, you can think about the mucus as a spider web like of sugars. So when the virus tries to get through it, it gets stuck on these sugars and is unable to reach it to the cells.
We're looking at that human goblet cell. That's a fat cell, right? And the blue in there we're seeing, that's the mucus and the sugars?
So a goblet cells is a mucus producing cells, and mucus are proteins that are covered with sugars, and the goblet cell secretes a large layer of mucus that covers our airways, and that's what the virus gets stuck in.
So it can sort of like a trap. It can like quicksand or something.
Yes.
I want to show folks a picture of the flu virus cell. It's actually pretty nice looking. It looks pretty nice, but it's not nice inside your body. Walk us through how, if you have this flu virus that we're looking at right now, influenza virus inside your body, how would entrapping it in the mucous membrane? Walk us through the research. How do those two link up?
So as you can see, these little spikes on this virus membrane or virus surface, these represent two interesting proteins. One that binds to that sugar I was mentioning before, and the other one that cleaves that sugar, cuts it like scissors. So there you have spider web of sugars, the mucus layer, that the virus get stuck on it by holding on to these sugars. However, at the same time, the virus brings out these scissors and clips himself free. So it's basically a matter of timing. Can the virus cut himself free fast enough to before the mucus get cleared in order to infect the cells or not?
So now you're at the early stages of identifying this as far as in your research goes, but as your research progresses, how would that turn into a treatment?
So basically, currently the Tamiflu and Influenza drug that you have mentioned before, what they do is they really jam these scissors. They prevent the virus from cutting itself free.
And spreading. It would cut itself free and float or migrate into other cells.
And to other cells and get you more sick. However, people have overlooked the fact that it also helps the virus to get stuck in the mucus, and therefore it doesn't allow you to infect in the first place. However, they are very strong drugs. We can make less potent drugs that would be as efficient and as effective in preventing the virus from going through the mucus layer.
By trapping them in the mucus layers.
Yes, because you don't need to completely cripple the virus. You just need to slow it down enough to stay in the mucus until we get the mucus washed off.
I see. I see. And so that could develop into new therapies, potentially new drugs. And so how would you go about that? What would the next steps be?
So these kind of treatments would be catered toward if you suspect that you're in an environment where people are sick, or if you're going to travel in an airplane or something and you want to make sure that you're going to get there without catching the flu, then you would be able to take that medication that would enhance your own immune protection, or the capability of your mucus layer to protect against the infection. It will not be replacing vaccination. Vaccination actually protects you throughout the flu season. It would just be
to prevent it from actually getting, and this would be after the fact, after you got it. So
it would be when you know that you might be exposed. Say everyone in your office is coughing, you want to make sure you don't get sick.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know we have a few years to catch up to you on that and follow through with it. So, research scientist Miriam Cohn, thank you very much for the update.
Thank you so much for having me here.
It's one of San Diego's longest running and most successful life-saving events. So popular, it holds a world record for the most blood donations given on a single day. It feels more like going to the county fair than giving blood, with about 2,500 people converging on the Town and Country Convention Center in Mission Valley, with information booths, food, music, and the other big attraction, San Diego Charger football players and cheerleaders, signing autographs and taking pictures. Lynn Stead is with the San Diego Blood Bank.
This is the 35th annual Chargers Blood Drive, started in 1979 because kicker Ralph Bernershka was sick, needed 80 pints of blood.
The Chargers called the blood bank because they didn't have enough employees to give blood and asked for the public's help. So an impromptu blood drive was held the next day.
Thousands of people showed up. We could only take 289 pints that day because we weren't prepared, but now we are, and that's why it's such a big event and such a life-saving event right before the holidays.
And the entire team shows up, just like the public showed up when they needed it. 7-year-old Brianna Johnson has sickle cell anemia and received monthly blood transfusions for several years. She's here to see
Antonio Gates.
The event set a Guinness Book World Record in 1997 for the most blood collected at a single location in one day, going from less than 300 pints of blood in its first drive to about 3,000 pints this year. And you still have time to give to the San Diego Blood Bank. And over the past 34 years, the Chargers Blood Drive has collected more than 70,000 pints of blood. Another jump in San Diego housing prices. The S&P Case-Shiller Index says prices went up in September almost 21% compared to the same period a year ago. Prices also increased from August to September this year. Inmates from the county jail began firefighting training this month. Peggy Pico is looking at how they're doing and who benefits most from the program.
For the first time in San Diego County, low-level offenders from local jails are being sent to fire camps to train and fight wildfires. The program is in response to prison realignment, which moves prison inmates from state custody into county jails. Here with more on how the program is working so far is Lieutenant Wayne Brooks with the Sheriff's Detention Support Division. And Lieutenant Brooks, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, California has been sending inmates to the state's 44 fire camps for quite some time now. How many camps are in San Diego area right now, and how many inmates are participating?
There's 4 camps in the San Diego County area, and right now we have 6 inmates out at fire camps.
And that's going to expand?
Yes, we have 4 in the process of being screened for fire camp duty, and as new inmates are sentenced to local prison time, they will hopefully volunteer and be screened and go out to the fire camps also.
When we were talking about these are low-level offenders who are eligible to participate, what kind of offenses are we talking about, and how do these offenders qualify?
You're talking basically drug offenses, theft offenses, nonviolent offenses. The rape, robbers, arsons, murders, they won't be qualifying for fire camps, but they will be screened, both criminal history, medical, and time to serve to qualify to go to fire camps.
And how long do they serve on these fire camps? Is it just during fire season, or is it a year-round project?
Once they go to fire camps, they're year-round, and they can serve mostly all of their sentence at fire camps when they are screened and trained.
How vital are inmate firefighters? I know it's been going on in the state and just started here in helping to prevent and put out wildfires.
Well, they augment CAL FIRE in the fighting of the wildfires throughout the state of California, and they can go to within 50 miles of a bordering state to fight their fires. There's approximately 4,000 inmates that fight fires with CAL FIRE
so it is
at
substantial.
any given time, yes.
And absolutely. Okay. How does the program actually benefit the inmates? I mean, they're not stuck in jail, so there's that.
Right, and they're receiving full firefighter training in the wildland fires, fire abatement, and fire prevention. So these are skills that they can take once they are released from custody and hopefully become a productive member of society in getting a job in the firefighting community.
How much does it cost compared to, let's say, if we send somebody to a fire camp for their sentence versus keeping them in jail?
The current cost right now on average is $131 a day for someone in our custody. If we send them to fire camp, our contract is $46.19 a day with CAL FIRE and CDCR.
Coming back to what you said about the benefit for the inmates, but also for the jails overcrowding, has it been shown with these 4,000 that have helped, that have gone through the state camps, that the recidivism rate is lower?
Currently with us, this is a new program, so we don't have any statistics on that. And in talking with people from CDCR, they do have inmates that have been through fire camps, been released from their custody, and gotten jobs helping fight fires and basically employed in that arena. So there is a benefit. As far as the overall recidivism rate lowering from that, I don't have those numbers.
How about, I know it's kind of, we're starting out small here, but how big of a dent do you think this could have on the overcrowding because of prison realignment?
Well, our target number is 100 beds out of fire camp. So that would be 100 beds freed up in our facilities to house people, the higher level inmates that we need to house.
One more at risk. All right. Lieutenant Wayne Brooks, thank you very much for this update.
You're welcome.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next News Hour, famed cookbook author Paula Wolfert takes on Alzheimer's in the kitchen. That's Tuesday on the PBS News Hour.
Look at here. San Diego's new Central Library's been open less than 2 months, and it's already more than doubled its number of visitors. 108,000 folks visited the new building last month. Only 42,000 visited the old library in October 2012, and those visitors are borrowing more books. In fact, the number of books jumped by about 30,000 from last year. One of San Diego's oldest residents is being honored today. The interim mayor proclaimed it Laura Simon Day in San Diego in honor of her 108th birthday. iNewsSource reporter Joanne Farian is a friend of Simon's and recently hosted her birthday party.
Laura Simon really has had a remarkable life, and this past weekend, a number of her friends, including some of us from iNewsSource and KPBS, gathered to celebrate with her. Simon is an artist and writer. She published her memoir at age 99, and she is the oldest living author to have a book in the Library of Congress. Her art can also be seen in the California Women's Museum. Simon can now add a proclamation in her name to her long list of honors. 2 years ago, when Simon turned 106, videographer Katie Shulov produced this short documentary about Simon and her secret to long life.
I am still here. Prologue. I am a writer, although sometimes I have my doubts. Wow, you are 100 years old? What's your secret?
That is a question that everybody asks me. What is your secret? My secret is in this book. I was looking for the secret myself. The secret is to live as honorably as you can and to work.
Oh, I was born in 1905, Thanksgiving, when Teddy Roosevelt was president.
I'm going to be 106 years old within the next week or two. And I must say that I stopped counting my age a long, long time ago. I'm much younger in spirit and the depth of my thinking. Here I am in the bathing suit. I'm very proud of this book. I wrote it by talking into a little tape recorder. And I talked in that little tape recorder for 9 years. And I did the paintings. Inside are my paintings. And my paintings come from the very depth of my being. It gives me life, gives me hope. I wanted to be in the Library of Congress because I was trying to reach the highest place where my book could live, forever you might say. And I reached that goal, and my goals go on. I still have goals. I was told that I'm the oldest living author in the Library of Congress. And the rest of the people are gone. The rest of the authors are all gone from the time of Washington. And my book is with all these great books. And the authors are gone. And as my title says on the book, I am still here.
Is that me? The picture of an old woman with a white cane and a picture of me, a bride of 20, was next to it.
I called an agent once. He said, I only want to ask you one question. Who would want to read your book? Why would they want to read your book? Finally it came to, and I said, I'm a survivor. That's who I am. I have survived 100 years of living. But I must say all the bad things now are behind me. And only the good remains, the love of my family and friends. And when I look out to the world from this height, all I see is great beauty. And that's how I live. I see only beauty. I don't think of death. There is no such thing in my mind or my heart. I feel that I'm going to be living forever.
And that piece produced by video journalist Katie Shulove. Simon has lost most of her hearing and sight, and she's had to trade in her walker for a wheelchair. But she says she is grateful for what she is still able to do rather than regret what she's lost. For KPBS News, I'm Joanne Farian.
There's a change in the air. Clouds will move in tomorrow. The forecast is calling for rain on Thanksgiving and for Black Friday. Coastal temperatures in the 70s tomorrow, dropping to the mid-60s. The picture pretty much the same for the Inland Valley. Showers expected late tomorrow. Mountain temperatures will be mostly in the 50s tomorrow and down to the 40s later in the week. No rain for the desert, though, just partly cloudy and mostly in the 60s and 70s. You can find tonight's stories and download the KPBS app all on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Good night.